We're now looking at using PyTest's monkeypatch, O2 section examples, O2 network monkeypatch example. We're just doing a basic requests call as our network mock, or as our sort of API. Now when we're testing it, we're going to use magic mock or mock. They'll both work, and we're going to try both of them. But the idea is that we use PyTest's monkeypatch, which is a built-in fixture, which allows us to set attributes, delete attributes. And in this example, what we're doing is we're creating a mock of our response that is going to return hello world, setting the timeout. We're creating our so-called magic mock or actual mock class to have a return value of the mock result that we're setting up here. We can also pass it in as an argument rather than doing it as a property, as we've seen in previous examples. So our mock get, our replacement for our network mock of get URL, mock get is this object which will represent the return of our URL, request.get, URL and timeout. It's matching the shape. But what we can do is we can patch out request.get with our mock get, and we'll see when we run our globals that we can actually just switch the address of request.get to our mock get, so that when we're testing our result and using the function get URL, which is in the request get, when we think we're going to random user API, we're actually just getting our mock, and we can check that our mock was just called once, and it was called with these arguments. And so we should see that our result is hello world if everything is wired correctly. So in the CMD, I do have an example this time of this. So let's do Control C, CLS, and run it. We'll get quite a lot of output because of the globals, but let's go up to the top and work our way down. As we work our way down here towards the end, we'll see we'll have our get URL. We know where it's pointing to, and we're doing our classic example of just replacing where get URL goes to with our mock and magic mock, but we actually have get URL here. So when we go back into our, we can see that it passes, but when we come back into our test, when we're using get URL, although we're passing in these arguments here, we're intercepting it and redirecting it to our mock get. And that's how the monkeypatch works. It just changes the attribute to point to our mock. And we've seen in our globals, as we saw down here, we have that in our globals namespace. Originally it points to this memory address. We're going to now point it to our mock get. So whenever we use request.get in the network mock, it's been patched out or monkey patched out with our version, our mock. So that's the wiring of it, and I think this makes it a little bit clearer to understand. And looking at the globals, if we comment that out and rerun the test, you see that passes nicely, but the globals make it easier to understand what we're mocking out. And we're mocking out this request.get, which is already in here in the globals. So that's the network monkeypatch example using PyTest as opposed to the Python's mock and magic mock exclusively. We create a mock, and then we use monkeypatch to redirect request.get that's being used when we call get URL. We say when you use get URL, when you're using request.get, use our mock get instead.